Hey, how's it going? I made a thing and I'm pretty excited about where it's at right now. Pretty minimal. I hope to make it even better in the future. That's the goal. I don't really have any milestones. I'm just trying to teach myself stuff, specifically Unity learning. I've always had an itch with this game, Legend Bowl and College Bowl, to try to access the game files and make like a companion app that goes along with those game files. And the best game file to use really is the roster user.json file, but it's kind of a beast of a file. And so I've avoided it for a long time and only used text files that come out of the game. But got to show you this thing I made. I'm pretty hyped about it. So again, the goal is to use what's in the roster JSON file of Legible, and if you mod the game, you know what that is. The other thing is to use logos from the game that exist, and then I added my own awards in there from the game. But if each career folder has an hof.txt file, and in the HOF contains each year who is winning what awards, which is what those awards are you see on screen. This is pretty boring to look at, by the way. I guess I should make this look cool. Anyway, bottom line is this interacts from a roster JSON, which you're about to see. And without further ado, let's kick it up. So, first team it automatically loads is the Cardinals here. When you have like a player kind of highlighted, it does this. When you select a player, it shows their stats. If they don't have any stats, obviously they don't really have much to show. And I haven't, like, I don't think Clayton Tune got into a single game during this full season, so he has no stats to show. Kyler Murray does. If they're yellow right here, that means they are the number one player at their position. Trey McBride had the most fantasy points. I think he was the best player at his position. He's a top 10 player. That's another thing that pops up. Offensive linemen don't generate fantasy points, and that's how this all tracks. Is this metric right here, fantasy points? So each player, when they get accrue offensive stats, they also earn fantasy points, which is a way to keep track of the MVP of the league and players of the game, stuff like that. So offensive linemen don't have any stats at all, so you can't really rank any of them. So I have to figure out a way to just disregard the offensive linemen so it doesn't show them like this. But maybe instead I'll show ratings, or maybe I'll have an option here to show like a click for stats, or like a tab. Like one side you click there and it shows all these stats, and another side you click and it shows their ratings too, because ratings are important of a player. We'll get to what all this is leading to in a minute. Anyway, let's check out more teams, shall we? Here are the Falcons. No top 10 play. Oh, yeah, here we go. This guy is top 10. Or he's number one at his position, I should say. Top 10 players will get a badge. I don't know if there were any other ones. Ravens have some. Well, Lamar's not for some reason. Mark Andrews not. Oh, let me find a team that has here. We'll go to the Buccaneers because I know they have two players. So there's Baker, who's got a top 10. And then Mike Evans is gold, top 10, has two awards. He won the MVP of this year and the Offensive Player of the Year. Um, Also, when they are top, I don't know if this is top 10 or the top player. I think it's top 10 of a statistical category. They get a star next to their name. That's pretty cool. Let's look at more teams. Oh yeah, when a team wins the Super Bowl, which is the first trophy here, they get every player in their little thing here gets that trophy. Fred Warner. Doesn't lead any statistical categories, but still had 241 fantasy points. He's a beast. That's kind of it. It's got every team, and the background element is the end zone element. I'm ripping off everything from this game. The helmet in here is a rip off from the game. I've created this dynamically myself, the color scheme, but I'm pulling that from the game. I'm using the colors.txt file. This is all a lot of fun. It's pretty silly, and I really still don't know a lot of what I'm doing. I'm kind of learning as I go. But let's get to what the plan is here. And as you can tell, there is not a lot. Well, you can't really tell, can you? Because screen. Let me see if I can. There you go. You can kind of see. So you can't really see here, but just like this screen that you're seeing, you can't see the full screen. But the full screen, basically, there is a lot of room on the right-hand side over here. Basically, same amount of room that's over here. Oh no, we've lost our... There we go. I have a lot of screen real estate on the right-hand side over here and further. And what I want to do is mirror this whole setup over on the right-hand side and then make it to where you can select the player and then have like a compare button or maybe a move button or a trade button or something to get that player from this team to the team on the other side and basically swap players. That would allow you to, in the middle of a season, open up a roster and trade the player from one team to another. At least in theory, it would. I mean, I haven't done it, and I know a lot of people have edited rosters mid-season, and it's worked as long as you don't mess up any other data and brick your roster user JSON. The other thing I want to be able to do is select your team and then do things like change your team colors or uniforms so that if you wanted to do that mid-season, you could. There's just little things I would like to be able to do the Legible doesn't let you do, which is fine. Like, the developer was just one human being who had limitations on resources and time and what they could do, and I don't fault them for not being able to put every single thing that every human wants into their game. It's not our game, it's their game, so whatever he wanted to make is what he made. But there's just little stuff I wanted to see. So hopefully I'll be able to keep going. Hopefully I can keep getting better. This is like stats here. And I don't necessarily love the way the stats, I've formatted them some, but I don't necessarily love every single stat like a year number. That's not as important because everyone is technically counted on the same year from when the season starts. So this is what's the word I'm looking for? Not a redundant number. TID is not quite as important. The user doesn't need to know that. They don't care. Maybe they do. So things like rushing TD should be higher up. Maybe rushing yard, average rushing yards is what that should say. But anyway, is important. Maybe highlight with some color coding. I don't know. I would love fancier buttons. I mean, this works, but it'd be cool to have something fancier. Maybe a switch for uniforms like home and away. That would be like a uniform page or something. I don't know. That's just all down the road. I don't know, honestly, how far I'm going to take this. And I've got real work that's going to start soon, so who knows? But yeah, in theory, if you had a legible mod, this would be a Unity accompanying like app that you could throw into your legible folder and then run it in, and it takes advantage of the folder structure that already exists in legible, so you wouldn't have to do anything else. It would be able to access your existing files, I think. I don't know. The career might be a hang up because the career files live in a folder that's named after the whatever the save state is. So you may have to manually put this exe into a career as well as another file. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And while you're here, watch this really cool video of the NCAA all-time mod that I made for College Bowl for Legible on Steam. Get it now.